it's MK and I am back with another Christy's Beautiful Life, best of 30 days of sketches. This is the sketch that I will be attempting to follow today. It is by Susan Stringfellow for Sketch Savvy. So I pulled out all of these elements, my metal tags, vellum tags, the two little pieces that I have left over of this gorgeous plaid, my photo corners. I know you guys are getting tired of seeing the same supplies for the last 4 videos. Well, not last 4, but for 4 videos total. But they were a series of photos and I wanted to use the exact same elements even though nothing is matchy-matchy. I still have these strips of wood grain paper, my beautiful clusters that I made yesterday that I have to tell you guys, or not yesterday. Was it yesterday? I think it was. But I have to tell you guys that waking up the next day and seeing these again almost for the first time makes me like them even more than I did yesterday. So I'm really happy with how they turned out. And then I have 3 photos for today instead of 2 like the sketch calls for. I'm going to try to make it work because one of them is going to get cut down quite a bit. I'm just not sure exactly how far down. And then I took my stencil that I used on the very first layout that I used the original clusters for. And what I did was I took a wet wipe and just cleaned up my stencil on top of this off-white piece of paper. Now I brought in my blending brush because I'm not sure if I'm going to need to add a little bit more color to the background or not. So I'm going to play with it and figure it out. Now 2 of these photos I would like to leave at 6 inches. Because one of them was a panoramic that I zoomed in pretty far to get that one, the look that I was going for. And then the other one was just a regular photo that I took from our patio, from the side of our yard, trying to get the depth of our yard for the photo. And so I wanted to leave them at 6 inches with the photo mat. So the photo mat is 6 inches, and then the photo is 1/8 of an inch shorter than that. And then I think I cut them down to 3.5 inches. And then of course I did a 4x4. I thought I was going to go a little smaller, but then I thought, oh, it might take away from what I'm trying to show. I mean, yes, you can tell it's me mowing the yard for the very first time. This was our very first time that our brand new grass needed mowing. And of course, you know, I love to mow, you guys. It's not a chore for me. It's just something I enjoy doing. The smell is amazing. And so I definitely wanted to be the first one to do it. Okay, so when I first started laying out my photos, I laid them out how I thought they looked good and cohesive. Then I realized that it doesn't look a thing like the sketch. So if I were to lay out my photos like the sketch, this is exactly what they would look like. However, I don't have enough pieces, enough scraps of paper to create the layers. So my vertical scrapbook element or embellishment, thank you. Oh my gosh, words. My vertical element was too tall. I didn't want to tuck it behind my photos or I would have lost the entire element. It just, nothing was working. So I am going to flip my paper. The reason why I'm flipping my paper now is to see how I can best get all of my tire tracks to show up. But I decided to go back to my original layout with my photos, because that's where I felt like I had the most dead space to be able to cover some sections up and get all of my little scraps of bits and pieces and papers to work well with the photos and whatnot. So I've got my my wood grain going horizontal or vertical. Oh my gosh, I don't know my directions anymore either. But I've got that going vertical to represent the vertical section. I've got my embellishment going vertical instead of any of my photos. And I just, in a way, flipped my photos. So that way I've got 2 photos representing the larger photo. And then my smaller photo, I tucked in to my title cluster embellishment. And I was really proud that it actually fit like that. And then, of course, to represent everything else, I'm tucking in the leftovers of this plaid paper, because that's what it looks like to me. The tags were tucked behind. There are 2 or 3 different other layers tucked behind. And so that's what I'm doing. The pale piece behind the bottom section of the larger photo is my tiny little wood grain piece that I have going all the way across, except that it's also representing the tag over on the right-hand side as well. So I'm having it stick out quite a bit to have that representation. And then instead of trimming it off to where it's just a little bit past that plaid piece, I am having it go all the way off my page. I think that it adds a lot to the page by doing that. And then, of course, the darker element behind that is my plaid piece. So I flipped the layout, but yet I didn't flip the layout. I flipped sections of the layout and ended up really liking it a lot, just based off of my photos. It was my photos that had to lead the way on this one. I couldn't I didn't want to alter them or put them in a way that I wasn't very happy with them. For one, my panoramic photo was a lot of grass, and in the one section where if I had those photos over on the left, that's the one section I really wanted to bring attention to and not cover up. But I was okay covering up a lot of that grass. So that's it. I did debate whether or not I was going to put any splatters on this layout or not, and I opted not to. I definitely didn't need to bring in any more color in the background either with my ink and blending brush. I really liked how the tire tracks ended up working on the background of this layout. I mean, it all fell together once I found the right placement for everything. All right, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really, truly appreciate it. Be sure to check out everyone else that is playing along with Christy's Beautiful Life, the best of 30 days of sketches. The playlist is down below, and it is phenomenal, you guys. I cannot boast enough about how much I love this playlist. All right, thank you so much, and I'll check y'all later. Bye.